Hey, everybody, welcome to Navel Gazing, the Valley Indy podcast. My name is Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. That's a nonprofit online newspaper covering Derby and Sonia and Seymour. And if you're so interested, Oxford, Shelton, wherever. Before I begin, I want to read a quick message from our sponsor, valleygivesback.org. While giving back is always in season, now is a great time to plan your gift. Name a Valley nonprofit in your estate plan and create a legacy that tells future generations what mattered to you. I'm not reading this. With a planned gift, you have the power to impact the Valley forever without affecting your current lifestyle. Your action will inspire others to make a difference in their own way. Remember the Valley. Ask your accountant, financial planner, or attorney about planned giving options. Plan now, give later, impact tomorrow. Learn more at valleygivesback.org. All right. Thank you, valleygivesback.org. Very timely. We have two very well-known Valley people on the podcast. As you can see, we're doing this by video. First is, Lisa, I didn't ask you, is Lisa Savoyd? I assumed, is that how you say your name?
That is correct.
Okay, that's great. And you were on The Great Give a couple of years back. Welcome back to the program, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then joining Lisa is David Morgan, the honcho over at Team Inc. on Elizabeth Street in Derby. And we are going to be talking about Toys4Kids 2020. I'm very excited. It's great that this is still happening. There are, of course, hurdles and challenges that I'm sure Lisa and David will talk about. But welcome back to the broadcast, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So maybe we'll just begin with a simple question, whoever wants to answer it. If someone doesn't understand what Toys4Kids is, what is it?
Yeah, so Team Toys4Kids, it's been a hallmark for multiple decades. And it's helped on average more than 1,280 children from the Valley in just the last 5 years alone. That's each year. And it's a great support. We work closely with Santa and we help families make magic happen for their children during the holiday season. And as you said, Eugene, there's some significant hurdles this year that we're so appreciative that you're helping us raise awareness because we cannot let the holiday season, we cannot let Santa be another casualty of this ugly, ugly pandemic.
Yeah, and I'm a father of two. I just got done the distance learning, remote learning as of a couple of minutes ago. And it's getting a little grueling in terms of now we're being hit clearly with the second wave of COVID here in Connecticut. And while the adults keep busy and you do the best you can, it's got to be having an impact on the kids. I mean, things that are happening this year, if you go to the mall to get a picture with Santa, it doesn't look like that stuff's happening this year. Halloween was a strange experience for a lot of kids, at least my kids. So yeah, it is hugely important that we're doing this, or that you're doing this year. So I guess we should say right off the bat, if you don't listen to another word of this, the website where you can learn all about this is teaminc.org. You go to teaminc.org, click the banner for Toys4Kids. It's the first thing you see, and you can get a ton of information and two great messages from you, David Morgan, on there. But Lisa, what happens Monday? We're recording this on Friday the 13th, of course, naturally, it's fitting for 2020, to be uploaded on the 16th, Monday the 16th, and that's a big date. What happens then?
Yes, it is, Eugene. We are going to have our online process application that will launch on Monday the 16th. So normally parents and caretakers would actually fill out a form with their age, and then normally they would go into this toy store and they would shop on their own. But because of COVID, we had to take a different approach this year. And what we had to do was make the entire process online. So in addition to providing a child's name and age, and of course, there's still proof of residency and proof of income and proof of child's age, there is now a component where they can put their child's interests. So if they like Mickey and Minnie, or if they like my son's a little older, so I don't remember all the young, the toys. However, but anything with their favorite character, their favorite hobbies, it's just something about their child, so that we can match their child up with something that they would be happy with. After the application is completed, they will receive a phone call from a team staff member. We will speak to every parent, just like we did when they came in to apply. We will speak to all of their parents, and what we will do is we will review that list and make sure that there's something that they forgot that they added at that time. And that's how the online application process is going to happen. If I may take it just a step further,
Hmm.
and since they won't be able to come in and shop this year, there will be a really festive drive-through, or I should say pickup location. It still will be at Echo House um, on 430 Corm Avenue.
In Shelton. Okay, gotcha.
In Shelton, right? And they will be able to come by, appointment only, because when we call the parent back, we will give them a day and a time to come and pick up their toys. So children 0 to 8. This is another adjustment this year. Children 0 to 8 will receive a toy, but children 9 to 12 will receive a gift certificate. The reason why we're doing it this year is, as you know, the COVID-19 has affected so many businesses, places that people would normally walk into and drop off a toy. Because of COVID, that's not an option. And with the numbers going up, it's just not wise to touch and share. So we have set up an Amazon wish list, a team's Amazon wish list, where people can go and purchase toys there. They'll be shipped directly to Teen, totally contactless. We will have no information from the person who's purchasing unless they put a note in Amazon that says their name or the name of their business. I will take the opportunity now. I just keep going, huh, David?
This is
I
making my job easy.
So I will take the opportunity now, though, to make sure that I give a shout out. We've actually had to do something a little different this year and have sponsors. And we have our largest sponsor is the Valley Community Foundation, who has been so wonderful to give us a major sponsor donation. We have Tuttle Insurance Group out of Seymour, who has given us, who's also agreed to sponsor Mutual Security Credit Union, Smiles Dental Center in Shelton, Talalay Global, Connecticut Electric Services, and Pro America Construction. They have agreed to sponsor. And then we have a lot of companies in the Valley that decided, you know what, we want to jump on board with this too. One of the major people that jumped on board was the Valley United Way. They've partnered with us, and they have really come on board. We've got a team, a community team of individuals that are doing such a wonderful job. I'll let David speak further to that.
And let me just jump in for a second, because I want to make sure people understand the basics. And this gives me the chances. I mean, I'm a known ignoramus. Everybody knows that if you read the Valley Indy. So let me make sure I can regurgitate what you just said back to you. What's important Monday is applications start. Applicants can begin doing their paperwork online, as opposed to in years past where you'd come to maybe team on Elizabeth Street in person. But it's income qualified, and it's open to the residents of Ansonia, Beacon Falls, Bethany, Derby, Milford, Orange, Oxford, Seymour, Shelton, and Woodbridge, according to my other screen over there.
You're right. You're right.
And then in terms of the eligibility requirements, income can't exceed 200% of the federal poverty guide. So the people come in, they get the process started by going online Monday the 16th, and then they get a phone call, you said, as to when they can come by and do their pickup, their drive-through pickup, right?
Right.
And then just the Amazon part of it. If I'm somebody who listens and I want to, have the applicants who are going to, benefit from this wonderful program. If I'm Johnny on the spot, how do I go to Amazon and make a donation, buy a toy for a kid? How does that happen again?
So the way to do that, they can go to our website, www.teamink.org, go to Toys for Kids, and there is a Amazon wish list logo as well as a button. You click on either one of those, and it'll take you directly to our wish list, where you can purchase toys. And we do update that list, and we'll continue to update it as applications come in. We have, a pretty good sense of what we're looking for now because we've been doing this for a while. But as specific information comes in, we will then update our toys list, and that gives the donor an opportunity uh, to really see what it is that they, if they want. Some people want to actually do something specific for a child. You'll be able to do that through the Amazon wish list because we're gonna upload those toys.
I remember going to when I was on Main Street. I was on Anzonia's Main Street for 11 years, and for a while, their team was using one of the buildings across the street above the senior center as the collection point, and it was heartwarming and jaw dropping, the amount of toys that took up the entire floor of the building. And it's really cool that, it can be personal. Like, it was very specific, that's very Valley to me, that I don't want to say just a toy drive, but the fact there's that personal element, if you so choose, is pretty amazing. And then is there a deadline date for people to apply to become a beneficiary?
Yes, the deadline is December 11th. For application process. So November 16th through December 11th, we will accept applications. Same thing with donors. We have to purchase our toys. So if we, and with the holiday season coming upon us, things start getting a little tricky when it comes to shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So we just urge people to please go to the website now. Don't wait because we have to purchase the toys, even though it's the 11th. We're trying to be conscious, for the community. Uh, but there is a sense of urgency, um, because the worst thing in the world would be if people do wait and we place an order on the 12th of December and it doesn't get here by Christmas, then that's going to be sad.
Yeah, we don't. That's a really important point, because it's just some of the things you order, not you personally, but some of the things that I've ordered over the last month. It's like some things show up the next day, and then some things I don't know where they are, and then I forget I ordered them, and they just show up suddenly. But such is the world that we're all experiencing together because of COVID, because of the pandemic. So I had interrupted, Lisa, when you were going on. You had thrown it to David. David, what else should we know? Is there any additional point that you want to make about this program?
Yeah, a couple. Number one, what you both touched on, and we've always been very proud of that personal experience that, mom, dad, caregiver could go into the teen toy store with their Santa bucks and they could shop for their kids, their 3-year-old daughter and their 8-year-old son. And that whole reality is gone this year. But to Lisa's point, that application is very simple. It's one page. And we're still going to be very personable with the parents via the telephone. So we can prepare that bag of gifts for them. So when they drive by, we can get it in their trunk and they can still make magic happen for their kids. So it's a lot more work, but too much at stake not to do it that way. And the thing you touched on, Eugene, you made me think of, the piles of toy donations. The reality is, and it's scary. It's very scary. The reality is every year Team Toys for Kids was made possible by an abundance of giving of toys and donations. And that was made possible by more than 15 community events, including elected officials, residents, Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce, more than 15 community events. And on top of that, more than 160 toy drop-off sites, banks, businesses, small businesses, libraries, all that is gone. None of that is happening this year. And so frankly, it's really, really scary. So that's why we're so appreciative that you're helping us kind of shed light on the urgency and increase awareness. And if you go to that our website, you can see, to Lisa's point, people can donate cash directly, which we are able to use to buy toys. We've created some local and national toy distributor partnerships where they've agreed to sell the toys to team at cost. So that means we can stretch your donated dollar that much further. Or to Lisa's point, just go right on the Amazon wish list, which is going to be updated based on the personal conversations we have with families and their kids, where people can buy the toys that way. So my message, Eugene, is like, we're really kind of concerned and scared. We don't want the holiday season and Santa and all that magic to be another casualty on this long, very fatiguing list of impacts by the coronavirus.
So let me ask you, David or Lisa, in terms of if I was writing this as a traditional news story, there's that lead, right? There's the first line of a news story that stresses the most important part. And I guess my question is what you just said, is that what we need to realize here? Is I know usually it's about 1,000 kids in the valley that benefit from this program every year. Given the fact that 160 drop-off locations and all those boxes we all have seen for years now are not out literally on the streets like they were, are you concerned you're not going to be able to fulfill the needs of 1,000 kids this year because of this different way we're doing it?
Yes, I'm very concerned. In fact, it's on average over the last 5 years, each holiday season, it's 1,285 kids, 95% of which come from Ansonia, Derby, Shelton, Seymour, and Oxford in that order. So yes, I'm very concerned, but I think we're going to turn the corner. Oh, and on top of that, that was without any pandemic, Eugene. So you look at,
Yeah.
team has never left. We've been in this front line for, going into the ninth month now. I mean, the need could be even larger than we ever thought it would be. So yes, it's very scary, and that's why. But we're going to turn the corner because people like you and many others are going to continue to shine the light on this issue and raise awareness and get people to come to that website and see how they can help make a difference.
And I mean, in terms how serious, how are you doing now? Because you mentioned a bunch of sponsors at the beginning. Like, how nervous are you on a scale of 1 to 5? Do you think this might not happen as strong as it was in years past? And I don't mean to dwell on this, but I'm curious.
I believe it will work and it will happen because a lot of people are going to respond. I mean, we've been working on this before Halloween came. You mentioned how weird Halloween was. I believe we're going to get there, but when we look back and say, how did we make that happen? It's going to be events. It's going to be communication channels like we're doing right here. It's going to be, the power of the Valley United Way and its corporate volunteer council of its board of directors. They've decided to stand beside Team Toys for Kids and say, we can do this. There's too much at stake not to do this. Um, all those sponsors that Lisa mentioned, we will turn this corner. At the same time, I'm really scared, but I believe we're going to make magic happen. We have to.
And then, David, if I may, like, turn the subject for a second or move on for a moment, I just wanted to ask you, because you're both, I mean, Team Inc., like you said, you've been on the front lines. I mean, Team Inc. is on the front lines regardless of a pandemic, in terms of helping the people who need the help the most in the Naugatuck Valley, with children and families. How are things looking right now? We are 9 months into this thing. There's talk yesterday at Governor Lamont's press conference. Well, basically, we got to hang on for 2 more bad months as the winter comes. The numbers will increase. Then this thing will punch itself out and we'll have better drugs in 2021 at the start of the year, which isn't exactly sunshine yet. There's no light, it seems, at the end of this tunnel. Then on the other hand, there's people on Facebook every day who says this is all just BS. So what's happening with people you serve in the Valley now in terms of the economic impact of this pandemic?
The need is clear. And not only people that we're helping, we're seeing people we've never seen before turning to us asking for help. Diaper need, for example, increased by 257%. That means that many more people, that many more diapers that team has had to distribute. Meals on Wheels has more than doubled. That many more older adults in our valley. We are more than doubled. The amount of people turning into team for help with home heating assistance right now is up by 27% than this time a year ago. So frankly, the need is clear. People are hurting. People are still navigating furloughs, layoffs, supports that did exist that don't exist today. And I don't know how much longer the road will go, to be honest with you. It's a little fatiguing for all of us, whether you're at team or coming to team for help, or you're a resident of the Valley. I think we can all agree this is a very fatiguing experience. And at the end of the day, we have each other, and we're in this together, and we lift each other up. And if I were to bring it back to toys, sometimes toys doesn't roll off the tongue as quickly as when we talk about food, housing, diapers for my children. But what I would say to you in the audience is, when you think about the holiday season, it's a time of love, joy, but it's not always like that for everybody all the time. In fact, when you're a parent and you're managing a close to empty bank account, and you're having to make choices between food for my kids, heating the house, and paying this month's rent, and now this need for gifts on the holiday season, it actually becomes anything but happy, but it actually becomes an increased level of stress and anxiety for parent. And I think we can all agree that that can trickle upon the kids themselves. And let's not forget about the kids who go into school or go into a social atmosphere, and very quickly, that feeling of the haves and the have-nots. Why was Santa more benevolent to him and not as much to me? And you think about that social stigma on our kids, being in fourth grade or 10 years old or 4 years old. And so there's so much more to this than the toys themselves. Clearly, that's a huge part of it and the magic of that morning. But hopefully I provided a little more context to that. It's not just the toys, and it is equally has a profound impact, just as food and housing does, especially during this time of the pandemic.
You're talking about lifting a child's spirit and a family spirit.
And you get one shot at it. You don't get a do-over. You get that one morning waking up and making that magic happen for those kids. You can't turn the clock back. And we can all theorize on, how much does that echo into the days and weeks, and arguably maybe even in the years for kids on, being, that stigma of being a have-not with the holiday season. So we
And
can't
Lisa,
allow that to happen.
I agree. Lisa, where can people go again? What's the website we have to know about to help out?
They have to go to www.teaminc.org and click on the big box, the toy box for Toys4Kids. It is on our homepage, and it'll bring them
Can't miss
to,
it.
I'm sorry?
Oh, you can't miss it. Lisa did a wonderful job. You go to that website,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Right.
You click on it and everything's there.
Yeah. And the days that we will schedule for pickup will be December 16th, 17th, 18th, and the 21st, that Monday. But they are by appointment only. So if anyone, this is not like a USDA food drop where everybody can just come.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And that gives us another clear indication of how desperate the need is out there in the community. But yeah, they can go to www.teaminc.org. And again, if I may, just thank our sponsors so very, very much, because again, this is a new thing. Toys4Kids is not new, but sponsoring the Toys4Kids is new. So I really have to give another huge shout out, if I may, to the Valley Community Foundation for their major sponsorship. For Tuttle Insurance Group out of Seymour, for Mutual Security Credit Union, Smiles Dental Center in Shelton, Talagay Global, Connecticut Electric Service, and Pro America Construction. Thank you for all that they have contributed to this, because it is scary, but we're going to be positive. We know that the Valley is a wonderful place to live, and everybody cares about one another, and everybody cares about kids. So we are really looking forward to that. And we are again partnered with the Valley United Way, who is also helping us to on this endeavor.
All right, David, is there anything else you wanted to add before we call it a day here on the vlogcast or whatever they call this now? I don't know.
No, just I want to thank you, Valley Indy, Eugene. Just thank you so much for just increasing the awareness of what matters most. And, in my opinion, nothing matters more. This is a very confusing, very scary, very uncertain time. A lot of things don't make sense. But man, let's make sense Christmas morning. Let's check that box and make it really work out for these kids and these families.
All right, well said. And Lisa, David, I want to thank you so much for everything you do for the Valley and for taking a half hour to come talk about this with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Best
much.
best of luck, everybody. Thank you.